truth and facts, but to here to help enlighten the people. Be here as one, to be a steward and tenant of the earth. So look, check it out. I'm gonna leave off on my last video, but it's more pertaining. It's added on to that, but I'm not going to that PDF right now. Excuse the dogs. You know what I'm saying? But people buying fireworks right now. And long story short, we're gonna get into it. But before we get into it, I want to address. There's comments on the YouTube. You know, it's trolls. It is what it is. But I'm gonna come spit these facts. Don't let trolls turn your heads. That's what it's for. Y'all stay true to your own research, and you know, be your own man, your own woman. Be at the wheel of your bus, and you take control. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get in this, and so we took off about different state jurisdictions, sea jurisdictions, things of that nature, right? So we gonna get into this. I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna add into it. Just this is all off the brain. This is all going, and I'm just reading and going on to it. Let's go. I'm gonna shorten this out a little bit. Matter of fact, let me pop this up. I'm gonna start off with this. Oh, excuse me. This photo on top, y'all. Look, y'all. So yes, it's an exhibit, but this when I download it to my computer, this is how it pops up. So look, since the Cuba Act 1666, what this is basically explaining, first off, pretty much saying who's the beneficiary. It's an act to redress inconvenience by one of proof of deceased person beyond the seas of absenting themselves upon whose live estates Smith depend. So hold on real quick. So with that being said, with the system that I explained earlier about being lost at sea, being on the land, state citizenship, and within those certain wars that it was divided into 3 sections, and you got certain citizenship. You got U.S. citizenship, American state citizenship, and a federal citizenship as well. And there's other ones as well, but this is pretty much the system that they had established for those, they're able to deceive us and gather our estates. People's like, what is an estate? Well, estate, it could be a corporation, it could be a trust, it can be pretty much when you see somebody pass away, they still have assets that can be liquidated before it can be distributed. The wealth will be distributed to family or the beneficiaries, as you know, and because some people might have already experienced that. So, and also people have estate garage sales, like the whole estate is up for sale. So after somebody's dead, how can someone still pertain or hold certain things because it's held in a trust? Rather if you created it or not, they created one for you in the all cap name, which I call the ABCs, because there's not 26 letters in the alphabet. There's actually 52. There's 26 all capital and 26 lowercase. You got the alphabet and you got the ABCs. You got the dead and you got the living. You got the proper and you got the improper. And we was taught in school to be proper. So when you look, we was deceived to act on and be summoned to take on that name, also by being bonded by the sole of our foot. So with this is being said, they basically claimed us as dead, being lost at seas for over 7 years. Some people know about that. After 7 years, you consider dead of not being found. So they consider you lost at sea. So now your property had been abandoned, and now it's up for grabs for the pirates, for the attorneys, or as you know, in the Vatican, you see the symbol right here. This is all symbolic. So I'm gonna go ahead and read some of this for you though, to help you guys understand, because you guys really need to understand this is for you. And rather people think it's fraud or whatnot, it's all public information. You can look it up. So if anybody's fraud, it'll be the person that's being belligerent and denying the information to look up oneself. And also I'm going to give a disclaimer. I'm doing this for entertainment purposes. This is not legal advice. If you want legal advice, go get out a competent licensed attorney. I'm doing this for funs and games, y'all, and to enlighten the people. You know, take it how you want with a grain of salt or whatnot. I'm doing this on my own behalf for entertainment purposes. But go ahead, I'm gonna get back on. So Abbreviation or correction of the original form of this act have been expanded in the modern lettering and text above and below. Modifications, not altering. The Census by Act 16, okay, these are all provisions and acts, so I'm going to read the main part. You know, you can look up these statutes and laws. Remember, because we adopted the Roman and pagan laws. So in the last video, I said Trump signed the executive order of June 11th. In June 11th, we're no longer under Roman statutes or international criminal court. As you can see right here, these are all statutes. These are all statutes, and mostly penal codes as well, and statutes that were operating in those courts in the system, because they had basically foreigners infiltrated America and got our land. The seas had come upon the land, like Noah. That's why the boat of Noah. Noah created the ark, and the flood flooded the earth. And the boat, come on, man, it get deep. We're gonna get into that another time. But Sesta by remaining beyond sea for the 7 years together, and no proof of their lives. Judge in action to direct a verdict as though Sesta by were dead. Remember, Sesta by is basically saying the one who beneficiary. They're trying to find the one to benefit from the trust, which we consider to be a life tenant. So hold on. If such person or persons of whose life or lives such estates have been or shall be granted as aforesaid shall remain beyond the seas or elsewhere absent themselves in realm by the space of 7 years together, and no sufficient and evident proof be made of the lives such persons or persons retrospectively in an action commence of recovery of such tenants by lessons or reversions in every such case of a persons upon life or lives, such a state depends shall be accounted by lessons and reversions of heirs or assignees. The judges before whom such action shall be brought shall direct the jury to give the verdict as soon as the person remaining beyond seas or otherwise absent himself were dead. So once you're gone, they're going to basically pit somebody, assignees, or give it to the heirs, and they're going to take control of your estate because we're incompetent. We're a ward of the court. And if I remember, when I get to the definitions, I'll look those up. You know what I'm saying? Because this is all their stuff. This is not coming from me. I came down to help move the trans in the earth to push forward from from a lower perspective and bring a higher perspective. Some people might not understand this because the vibration of the knowledge would not fit because you're too low. And hopefully I'm trying to plant seeds to bring people up. So if you don't understand it now, it's cool. I understand because I know your perspective. I once never knew what this was upon discovering it. And I'm blessed to be able to comprehend at a high level of understanding. I'm blessed with a gift to understand. All right, and it's only get better. If supposed dead men prove to be alive, then the title reinvested action men profits with interest. So that's the goal. We're supposed to come back and be alive. We want to come back because they got us dead in the system. And that's why we're treated. We have no civil rights, all right? None at all. And that's why a lot of police officers and people get away with murder because we're already dead in the system. And it is what it is. I'm telling facts. Whether you believe it or not, look around you. Look how we get treated. We're getting treated like dogs in cages. We're getting treated like animals. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. This is our land. We're being infiltrated. So if you can't look at the bigger picture outside the spectrum of realm that you're in, or even have the broad opinion to hear, then that's on you. You know, the word shall fall on deaf ears, but the wise shall listen. Shall he prosper with knowledge and bear his own fruit and shoot up toward the sky, get his roots down in the ground, and you're in the middle and sprout the branches like a tree, as above as below. That's one of the only things that come from the ground and light and above. I'm telling you. I'm only doing this to enlighten y'all. And I feel like it's part of my talented 10th to give to the untalented 90 that's already talented but can be more talented in a broader spectrum. So back to this. I'm going to look those definitions up too. Provided always that if any person shall be evicted out of any lands or tenants by virtue of this act, and afterwards if such persons or persons upon whose life or lives such estate or state depends she return again by beyond the seas, or shall be proof on any actions be brought in recovery of the same. 2, then, and there's forth to the tenant of lease who was outed of the same his or her executors, administrations, or assignees shall or may re-enter, repossess, and hold and enjoy the said lands of the tenants in his or her former estate for the doing of the life or the lives of so long term. It's a lot of typos, y'all. I don't know why. As the said person or persons upon whose lives, so mind those lives of life or lives said that the state depend on shall be living, and also shall upon the action or action be brought by him or them against the lessers revisers of the tenant in possession of other persons respectively, which since the time of the eviction lands with tenant respectively with lawful interest for and from the time that he or she was outed of the person after the said eviction received the profits and said lands and tenants of any estate or estates did depend on shall be dead at the time bringing the said action to action as the said person or persons who have been living. So it's only a 2-page. Y'all can look this up. So with that being said, go back to the Bible times of the Crusades when they had the Battle of the Crusades, and people that had property, they'll leave their property and come in contract and entrust their assets and leave it with somebody to look over it. Rather, it could be a tenant or a trustee, things of that nature, to tend to the property, just like if you would tend to your own. So when they come back from the wars after so long, they were like, oh, I'm assuming that he's dead. He died in the war. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this. But it was rightfully owned to the person. So if they're presumed dead and they come back, no matter how long, no matter 190 years, 80 years, 5 years, the next day, they're entitled to their property and everything interest into it, because you just basically hired them to look over it and pretty much to not destroy it. You really want to get into make it better, if not more. And that goes even to more parables in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, this is deep. We're living in the times. It's never like the religious way that they spoke it in the pews. I'm telling you right now. It's all about banking yourself. You are the galaxy, the universe in yourself. You create. You are the creator. You create life. Do you not have children? If you had children, who created that? What two agree upon? Everything's contract. You came apart with a partner and you gave life. You created in your image as well. You know what I'm saying? We was creating their image. Now we're creating our own image. Facts. So when they come back, and if they don't do it, they can take them to court. They have every types. But with that being said, it's so long, some people, they after a while, they think it's theirs. You leave something at somebody's house, they think it's theirs. After a while, you won't ask for it. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to act like it's theirs entitlement. So you're going to have to go and do your thing and battle or do whatever you got to do to get your stuff back. And that's what it is. So this pretty much assume that you're dead, that you're civilly dead, legally, and you're alive, but this is like The Walking Dead. They tell us in the public, we're alive. You think you're alive, but systematically under Cesar, you're dead, and you're not alive under God. If you get what I'm saying, if you can comprehend that, because I'm gonna show you right now. I'm gonna try to help you understand. And this is an affidavit. This is an affidavit. And pretty much this is to prove you're alive. You have to go back and claim, because everything's about claiming shit. When I read in the other prior video, if you haven't saw, go back to the video. It's kind of at the beginning about the private meeting with the private broker and President Woodrow Wilson. Pretty much you have to claim your life. You have to register your property. So our parents did not do that. The government, they informed the government, they did it for us, and now we're releasing their name. So you have to go back, prove that you're alive from the 1666 Sexton-Cuba Act, basically prove that you're the beneficiary, and you have to give your blood to prove, because living things bleed. And this is one of the procedures to get your life back, to basically get your birthright, your claim, become a tenant, become under God. You're transferring from under Cesar unto God, one who pays taxes to under Cesar to one who does not pay taxes and own everything, will control everything and get things in equity. You know what I'm saying? That's under God, it's equity. All right, things that you get everything from. You're the principal, everything that comes from you, and you transmit your energy out, and you're supposed to receive back. Okay, but we're giving so much out to these corporations and businesses that we're not getting anything back but those little checks, all right? Because we're an employee, all right, not an employer. So I gave a definition on those. It's just master servant. They updated the definitions to employee and employer. Y'all gotta get with it, man. For real. I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. Shock with the facts, man. I'm only doing it for the people. I'm doing it for myself as well. So with that being said, we always won. We always won. You know what time it is. We moving. We moving. No wonder why they're trying to stop us, right? So look, Now, hold on, this is not the one I want to look at real quick. This is the one. So I'm gonna start from right here. So you know what? Okay, this goes into it. So what I had just stepped off with the first Cesar Act, we're gonna go off right here about the estate. So now in the last video, the Social Security in the private meeting with Woodrow Wilson, they did it in the form of social insurance. With Social Security is actually insurance because they created your name in a trust, and every public corporation that's big actually have to be bonded or have something in have some collateral to act if something was to be harming in the public. It would that it could secure it. And that's basically what they did with the birth certificate. They used us as collateral and created some type of social insurance to have us register our property, which us registering ourselves and our children would be the property to back that. And then they got Social Security and the insurance because we gave up the government. We gained the shadow, the government name. So now they have to get insurance for the government name because our proper name, which is first letter uppercase and then the rest is lowercase. Just like a proper name, person, place, or thing, right? And a thing is also called a birth certificate. So your birth certificate will like to be proper because it's a government issue. So you can go back and claim it and secure interest. And I'm gonna show you the definition. Don't worry about it. I got you. I got you. I got us. So look, that's the rundown. So we're using the government's property. So that's why they have to do all this because it's all public. It's public and private. And certain things I'm not going to show you. I have more evidence, like solid evidence in hands, but some things is for the private. Y'all want to hit me up, email me at shockswiththefacts@gmail.com, and we can have private sessions. Even if you want to get share collective minds and have problems or anything, get some another perspective, another aspect. Hey, I'm down. Email me, shock with the facts. You know what I'm saying? When it get into that though, after a certain limit, when I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna be some donations because my time is also enlightening you, and people spend their things on things that's not needed, and you're needed more. So what I'm doing now is cool for it. You know what I'm saying? But also we can get deeper into individual people or whatnot. But the matter of the fact is, it gets you to your higher self. But look, a life estate, we're on Social Security Administration. So this is fraud. If I'm fraud, the Social Security is fraud, which it is fraud because it's fraud in the beginning. But what I'm saying, this is off their websites. What I'm showing y'all as well is leading up to their websites. You know what I'm saying? A life estate, hold on real quick. A life estate is an ownership interest in real property. So what is real? How can Social Security have what's real property within social? I'm gonna let you know. The right of ownership exists in a lifetime of an individual or individuals. Upon the death of an individual, the ownership passes the renderman. The owners of a life estate is called a life tenant or a tenant for life. An individual who merely has the right to use property, e.g. an adult child promised a parent the right to live in a home for the rest of his life, does not have ownership interest. One distinctive factor is that a life estate may be sold or otherwise transferred, or a conveyance. Permissive use, however, would not be a legally transferred right. The parent may not sell his permissive right to live in the home at a third party. And this is another thing, like go back to Jacob and Esau when they sold each other birthright. This shit gets so spiritual. And another aspect, I'm telling you, this is banking. It's like, I'm telling you, it's like an onion. There's layers to it, but it'll all create that onion. So it might be fraud to people because they haven't really been into it that deep or went that far or understanding. This is facts. And Shock here to speak it. Shock here to speak it. Don't mind the artificial light. Somewhat, I always make videos at night. I'm busy during the day. But I'm here. So basically what they're saying, the interest in real property, that real property will be your Social Security card is actually on bond paper, and those numbers in the back is private, front is public. Look at your Social Security card, it's all capital letters. That is considered an estate. That is considered one of the first, that's considered one of the crowns that was written by the old popes that they don't wear no more, but it's 3 crowns. So that's one of the first names. That's one of the first trusts. When on the other video, one of the trusts that they created, that represents one of the trusts. You, the name that God entrusted you to entitle the earth and become a trustee to it and tend to it for the beneficiaries. But now they basically copy what God done, that you came to earth And now they basically captured it, and now they're trying to use you and secure what they did in their shadow and control you in a way as an asset, literally. So right here is the ownership. So what you want to do is basically like upon death and ownership passes the random in the life estate. Yes, because your name is a life estate. Well, the all cap, the government name. All right. So you're like, okay, what's the conveyance through deed? Yeah, we're using banking because Social Security. Yeah, this is all banking, y'all. And Social Security is also ran by Draconian Code. Look up Draconian, also Draconian Constitution. Let's get deep. Everybody ain't human that's here. Everybody don't. It get deep, y'all. So what I did a conveyance by oral transaction. So there's 3 ways to do it. There's the conveyance through deed or grant. You create a deed or deed language and you record it at the county recorder's office, or you could actually go to Social Security and you could do a conveyance through oral transaction, which I did. And if you don't understand this, look it up. This has got to do with banking, your name, your title, your trust, and your property. So you're regaining your property and you're claiming your interest to gain the principal, all right? To benefit, because you're the beneficiary. Benefit, the beneficiary benefits, all right? This was created for us. This is our Jesus Christ. Our birth certificate is the one is our sacrificial lamb. It's the U, the EWE, not the YOU. All right. When the police is asking for you, they're asking for the certificate because you committed a charge in the public, and now they need you to secure that charge because the government has no money, but they're using you because you secured the pledge. And now you're bonded to that. So they're coming to you to be competent, and that's why most of us are ward of the court and are considered dead because we cannot govern our own self. And even Obama said that. I should have looked up the video and had it up here that he said that. I'm gonna see if I can look that up. He said we're unable to govern ourselves. So we're gonna see. So this is pretty much to do the conveyance at Social Security to become part of the life estate. And you might be like, life estate, life tenant. Let me see. Where the life tenant? Oh yeah, that's what it was. Oh shit. So hold on real quick, y'all. Let me look up. I think I pulled it up right here. Is this the life tenant? Where is it at? Let me look for it. This is dictionary, y'all. This is dictionary, Black Law, 4th edition. So this is a life estate, actually. The life tenant, I'm gonna have to find it. Well, I told you life tenant, actually. Life estate, an estate whose duration and limited time of life of party of holding or at some other person. Look it up, y'all. This is a PDF. This right here, Williams versus Ratcliffe, this is actually in code, civil code, Georgia. This is actually court cases as well. So the court must be fraud. I'm just saying, estate for life may be created by the act of law, by the act of other parties. In a former case, they are called legal. In the latter, conventional. The legal life estate are estates tall after possibility of issue extinct. Issue is considered a birth certificate or some type of security as well. Estates due to power, estates of courtesy jointures, and this is also case law right here. You can look these up. A freehold estate is not of inheritance, but which is held by the tenant for his own life or the life of or lives of one or more other person or the indefinite period, which may endure for the life or lives of person in the being. Person and being. Remember that, because this ain't you. You're the soul. So when your soul comes here, when you're supposed to be a life tenant, everything was already instructed for you to benefit off the earth and also create life to benefit off life. We won't be in struggle and in debt because we're in a debt system, a debt creditor system, a balance, a ledger. All right. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And this is right there where it said being. It says life and being, a phrase used in common law. Common law is basically common sense. That's something that we're going in now with the power struggle of the world, how it is, the destruction of the government. Corporate America, the new world is gone. Now, we're in the times of revelations, y'all. So pretty much, duration of life of a person who is in existence at the time when the deed or will takes effect. So that's when you're born. The deed or the will, that's when your birth certificate takes effect. So you're a life and a being, and you're supposed to benefit off your life estate by being a life tenant or tenant for life. But we didn't do the proper things at born, so we have to go back and restructure it. And there's a lot of pieces to it. All right, there's a lot of pieces to it. It's not a game. I wanted to look up lien. I gotta pull that back up. I ain't gonna lie. cause I wanna look that up. Oh, I'm right here still. So I'm gonna go down. Like tenant, one who holds an estate in the lands for a period of his own life or that of another certain person. So right now the Social Security is holding it for their own needs. Of the Navy of officer, engineers, Army secretaries attached to the office of Secretary of the Treasury. You see, Secretary of Treasury. We're talking security. We're talking the People's Bank that runs the world, the stock markets, all kind of shit. Y'all would have stopped playing. Is shock on to something? Is shock on to something? I'm telling you. At Washington in charge with superintending and construction of a management of a lighthouse and lightships and other maritime signals of protection of commerce. And I not say we're in the seas. Now we're talking about international law. I mean, on the sea jurisdiction, maritime signals and protection of commerce. Come on, this is all light ship and light vessel, because they just spling that. A vessel serving the purpose of a lighthouse, usually at a place where ladder could be well built. Also, you got to understand that we're light beings and we're being housed within this vessel. So also our body is considered a vessel. Our birth certificate is considered a vessel. Every vessel has capital letters on it. Our birth certificate is named in all caps. So keep that in mind. Look that up as well if you want to. You know what I'm saying? That's up to you. I'm doing what I can for you as much as I can without proper donations or my private time. You know what I'm saying? Keep that in consideration. And I'm going to go down the lien. Lien up here, actually. These are the real definitions. When you go to court and things of that nature, these are the real definitions right here. This is what they're using. But this is a lien, a charge or security encumbrance upon property. So that's like when the IRS or someone put a lien on your vehicle or your car, they basically perfected an interest and they put a claim charge on your property for payment. So look, a claim or charge on property for payment of some debt, obligation, or duty. And this is case law, you can bring it up. A lien is an imperfection of legal consequence from the relation of the parties of the circumstances of their dealings, which is contract, whatever you explain in the contract. Liens of the species may rise either under the rule of common law or equity or under a statute. So they go for Cesar or God. So is the remedy going to be under equity or is it going to go under it's going to go under statute, which Trump said declared we're no longer under the Roman statutes and International Roman Court. This has been in time. We've been going through this for a very long time, you guys. In first case, they are called common law liens. In second, equity liens. In third, they're called statutory liens. So it depends what jurisdictions you're going in. Are you on the land? You're on the sea. You go this way, that way, or both ways, like Wizard of Oz says. So what we're doing is claiming an interest in the security of the issue, which would be the birth certificate, because the birth certificate is on bond paper, and you can look it up. You're being traded. Then even after you're dead, you're still being traded because you was considered dead on the certificate, never got your birthright or claimed it, so they're still making interest off your past lives or your loved ones. That's how evil and wicked these people are. It's all about that, man. They try to create it and make us fall. So back to the silver death. Hold on. Let me get to that real quick. Hold on real quick. Hold on. So back to that. That's the state, right? So y'all saw the purpose of doing all this. Look, now that shit tripping. Hold on real quick. What the hell's going on? So look. So that's the life state. And now even more proof that you're considered dead. Social Security what is a Social Security Death Master File? The Death Master File is also known as Social Security Death Index. It's all about it's AppSet of Social Security Administration and Numerate. The numerical identification system is a database file containing the Social Security number since 1936 and digitized in 1961. Also, keep in mind, 1936, this was around the time World War II started. Right? A few years in between, because I believe World War II ended totally 1945, possibly 1944, but I think it started in 1940, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. And this is 3 years prior. So now they're setting everything up. This system was instructed through World War I through Germany, and it was killing the Jews because they did not have registration and they did not have the proper instruction, and they was considered dead on the master file. So therefore they could treat us men and women like how they want because we're considered dead, and it's legally because the way that the system had changed. We had free will. We have the option. We are U.S. debt. Well, I'm not, but people choose to be a U.S. debtor slave. That's your option. You choose to be you have the right to be either or, under Cesar or under God. All right? There's no right or wrong. It's your perspective. It's your life. But I'm trying to bring you up and let you know that there's other worlds and other perspectives other than one's own. So look. So let me see. Look, y'all, and this is on Next Technical Information, United States Department of Commerce. Say, I'm going to the straight websites. You don't gotta tell me nothing. All right, I'm on they shit. All right, go to they stuff. Go to they books. I'm trying to tell you, I don't just learn from these books or that books. I get quality information as well. I learn from quality information. It's a rabbit hole. It takes you from here to here to here. It's like Alice in the Wonderland, literally, no joking. So look, I just want to show you. I brought you this website to show you what the real purpose of it. You know what I'm saying? Leading government agencies, financial institutions, investigation firms, credit reporting organizations, medical researchers, and other industries use Social Security Death Master File to verify death as well as to prevent fraud. So, a lot of people procedure. If you ever bought a house, they use the SS-89 form. It's basically a disclosure. They make it seem like it's verification information, but no, it's to verify if you're dead. It comes back a death indicator, yes or no. If you're a life tenant, if not. If it came back yes, and everything's in order and you're a life tenant, then yes, it'll be getting paid out of your life trust because you're there to benefit as the beneficiary. But you have to have all your ducks in a row with Social Security, all right? Also, you it's all about being alive or dead because your Social Security, all your banking information are on those numbers. All right, even more fraud because Social Security says not to give or share our private information with other agencies, but they force us to because they make it seem like that. You know what I mean? But it's not bad because if you got your ducks in order, you can use certain paperwork and you can basically acquire all things for free because that's what it was supposed to do. It's credited to you being the creditor queen. So the DMF is important too for verifying death. Medical researchers, hospitals, medical treatment, DMF to track former patients, study subjects, law enforcement agency, and intelligent forms use the DMF in the course of investigation to verify a person's death. Now, to identify the scene in order to protect benefits to their beneficiaries. The Death Master File is an important tool to which can be pension funds, insurance organizations, federal, state, local governments, and other responsible verifying deceased or support fulfillment benefits of the beneficiaries. Now you gotta ask yourself, like I said, we're operating a dead name already. So obviously they got you dead already in the system. You're operating in a state in a form of a trust that you believe that is you, which is improper, not proper, being your proper name, owning title to something that you create, which I have that title, which you is controlled by I. And I'm not speaking of you, the people. I'm talking about you, my birth certificate, EWE, is controlled by I, who holds the control, the entitlement, which the Bible said that you shall be given a new name on a white stone. And I hold that white stone in the form of a paper in modern times that's certified in the court and been registered from the alphabet from the ABCs, all cap, to the proper name, my living man status that I control. So it's my title, I control the you. And I, in my last name, family of, business, fictitious. So look, I just wanted to show you that, you know what I'm saying? It get deep, and you can even get more informed with it, you know what I mean? Also, I wanted to also do this to confirm it even more, you know what I'm saying? Because here, civil death, in Latin, civil term mortuus, is a loss of all or almost all civil rights by a person due to the conviction for a felony or due to an act by the government of a country that results in a loss of civil rights. It is usually inflicted on persons convicted of crimes against the state or adults determined by a court to be legally incompetent because of mental disabilities. So, y'all, they basically got us incompetent. They say we're not competent and we're mentally and legally determined incompetent, all right? with mental disabilities. I mean, look at it. Look at some of us, how we act belligerent. We don't know what to do without the government. We want to benefit. We don't want rights. We want benefits, which we benefit off we give up our rights and they give us little benefits that we voluntarily submitted. So everybody's getting paid out of their own trust, out of their own life estate. That social security number, why do you think you got to give your social? Because they need your body to secure it, and you're working that energy to transfer the utility, and they're giving you little chump change. You know, it's all energy. We're all energy. Think about it. Work. You're moving. Transit. These are all energy terms. Transit, flow, current, currency. Currents flow. It's the current to get the move. You know what I'm saying? All these is energy words. We're all energy light beings. Well, some of us are light beings. You know what I mean? We could touch each other and shock each other. You know, we eat to get energy. Just think about it logically, y'all, in our own perspective. But back to this. So it's more of losing your civil rights, and that's back to it. That's why cops get away with it, because we're civilly dead. You know, we have no rights. People lose a lot of silver charges. And it is what it is. It's facts. You know, don't be upset with yourself, because I was in a time awakening, because I had a journey and I had by myself, and family and people and friends that looked at me crazy. But now with my more solitude and grounded to my feet, you know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. I don't got time for feelings. You know, I gotta strengthen my spirit, strengthen my soul, not for myself first, but also explore it for others, but also what I'm giving out, I also want to receive something back. You know what I'm saying? It's called law of nature. So if I'm not receiving something back good, I'm going to receive something back bad, if you get what I mean. This is free game as I'm speaking right now, but everything's not basically going to be for free. And I'm going to stop speaking out free game on certain topics. Facts. So, and I also wanted to, I think I brought it up also in the dictionary of civil. A civil attaining, portraying, or appropriate a member of civitas, a free political community in nature, natural or proper. Remember I said that, proper. In order to be civil, you have to have certain things proper, which I have my proper name. I'm under God, so now I actually have civil rights because I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm an American state citizen or a private citizen. I also have my proper name that I created, that I control. Well, it was given to me by my mother, but now I claim the interest. You know what I'm saying? This is civil. I'm going to read. The word is derived from Latin civil as citizen. This is case law right here. In law, it is very significant in contradiction of barbarous, or a savage. It indicates a state or society reduced in order to regular government, in contradiction of criminal, and dictates the private rights. See, it also dictates the private rights and remedies of men. Now you understand that men. You see, men and person are two different things. In the Bible, it says men and women. In the statutes and things like that of that nature, it's persons. You know, it's persons. Could be a corporation, could be a state. It has multiple layers of intentions and vibrations. All right, it's a deceiving of the word. English is a cursed language. We'll get into that another time too. It also used for contradiction of the military ecclesiastical nature of foreign. Remember, this is biblical. That book right there is in the Bible, and this is also in case law. A prisoner's statutory obligation to pay for his keep and maintenance in civil. See, and if you don't have your civil rights, they take you and they pick you in prison. You lose all your rights. You're in prison. They can treat you how you want, feed you. I experienced it. I was there, and that's another reason that aided me to the knowledge that I am. And it's 12:12 a.m. I always catch these numbers while I'm like, come on, bruh. The numbers, the ancestors telling me I got to keep moving. 12:12 also combined to 33, or it could be 12:12. You know, it is what it is. I see y'all people. I'm tuning in with my people that a lot of people not tuned in with, knowing that they're here, knowing that people are always right here, and people, and you know, come in way of thoughts as well. I wanted to do claim. I wanted to show this real quick because a claim, which is the man. Hold on, real quick. Oh, right here. Claim, a broad consequential word of will, equitable, like, oh, that's equitable. Hold on. To demand as one's own to assert. It's in, remember, to demand is one own. So if somebody has my estate and I was lost at sea and now I'm back alive and I'm like starting to realize that, hold on, y'all had my property and this is all for me. Now I'm coming to claim it, to demand if it was my own, to assert. And it may embrace to apply to call. This is all case law right here. Y'all can look up with this case law because it's just going to basically get, you can look it up and look up into the case, all right? They basically want to claim your property. They stole your property, made you believe they created something, an image of you, a straw man. You thought it was you. Now you woke up, you understand it's not you, but it is you in a way, that you want to claim an interest and you want to get all that. That's what 1666 said. You was lost at sea, but now you're back alive on the land and you have every right to go back and get it. And people are waking up, and I'm going to aid my people to go get it. At the same time, I'm going to aid myself. So I wanted to shoot that to y'all. Oh, this is right here. Okay, yeah, we ain't doing that right now. And that's just the silver definition. I already showed y'all silver. But yeah, y'all. That's pretty much what I really wanted to show y'all. You know what I'm saying? Get down to it. Show you that there is a living and there is a dead, and there is the walking dead and there is the living. And I consider myself, well, I know I'm living, you know, and I'm doing this for the kindness of my heart. You know what I'm saying? And please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this out of generosity in my heart, and I understand I'm going to be replying back to people in the comments, you know what I'm saying? And yes, people might not like Trump. I don't support Trump, but the things that he's doing is doing things to help aid my people and giving the power back into the people of the land. We're going back to the land and we're leaving the sea jurisdiction and all the foreign agencies, and Obama, Hillary, all these politicians, all of them is out of there. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get to the Federal Reserve a little bit next in the next video, how the currencies and the money and promissory notes and things of that nature, how you're the money and your signature provides the actual, actually provides and gives the credit to that note that you're signing. And each one teach one, y'all. You know, Lorette, keep that loyalty and respect. You know, shock with the facts. Tune in. Nothing but knowledge over here, y'all. And Lion One. Tune in with the comments. Continue to, once again, like and subscribe, share it.